I want to throw this on here, and I do want to ask you this question. I see a comment right here, and I kind of want to ask you. I am the biggest fan of Adrian Martinez. I have been. I've
Okay.
stuck by him for so long. But, looking at this comment and seeing what's happening in college football lately, Florida today benches their quarterback they had been a decent team this year. Oklahoma's undefeated. Rattler's benched. I'm not going to sit here and say it has to be done now, but what are your thoughts on the whole quarterback thing right now with how Martinez played today? He's had a great year, though.
I like Martinez a lot, and I think he's a great athlete. He has records at Nebraska, but he also has the turnover record at Nebraska. You can't do that.
Huge processing issues in the passing game, too. He does.
And whether that's his fault or the guy that's coaching him, his fault, and get paid hundreds of thousands of dollars every year to make this 4-year starter a guy that can just win 6 games for us. Like, whether it's him or Martinez, probably a combination of both. But at this point in the year, I don't know where Martinez is head at as far as coming back next year. But if he's not, I hate to say it, but we're not going to beat Ohio State, and you're probably not going to beat Iowa. And so we're probably not going to a bowl game, right? So if Smothers is the guy next year, do you give him 2 weeks from Monday and say, hey, you're going to be playing, maybe not starting, but at some point you're going to be playing this upcoming weekend? I don't see why not. I really don't. I really don't see why not. It's sad. I don't see Nebraska going to a bowl game this year. They needed to win today. So yeah. Why not give Smothers a shot at this point, whether it's starting or just some point in the game?
Yeah, and I sit here and debate it as well because I see the whole bowl game talk, and you're right. They're not going to beat Ohio State. It's going to take a miracle. But you look at the other games; they should be in them with the way they play defense. They should be competitive in those games, but it's hard to sit here and, believe in Nebraska because they find ways to not finish each week. But, the more I kind of look into it, I would kind of agree with you in that you got to think there's going to be a shot because right now, Martinez, we know it. He's a great athlete. He's shown the ability sometimes in the passing game, but that processing part of the passing game is not working with him. And maybe if there's a different guy out there, maybe if Smothers has a whole game, you see him actually do this, and he's able to use the process, and he's able to process the game better and make those throws on time, accurate, that Martinez wasn't today. Because there was a lot of throws that Martinez missed down the field. I remember the one to Falk earlier in the game. He missed a ton. He did. And so his accuracy is off, and he's not seeing the field well. So that's where you sit here and debate. That's what Rattler's having problems with. He was inaccurate, and he wasn't seeing the field right. They moved to another quarterback. Maybe, I love Martinez, but, man, you got to make a move eventually for the future of the program, especially if you want to save your own ass, too.
Right. I really thought Nebraska was headed. I really, truly felt probably the best about where the program was and where this football team was, the best about it I have in probably 3 or 4 years. Even after these losses we've had, and after the last week, I was at the Michigan game, and it was electric, and they played hard, and they fought, and there was energy. But I thought Nebraska was going to win today. I thought they could even win by a couple scores. But just in the back of your mind, you just know that they're capable of what we saw today, and it's not surprising. It wasn't surprising to me, and it's just really disappointing. And it all kind of goes back to Martinez and the 4-year starter and him, and just not being able to find ways to win games. I think we're the stats for our 1-loss games are just astronomically bad. They have to be worst in the nation, some of them. So
is it 5-18 or something like that?
Yeah, 5-18.
Yeah,
and then 0-5 and I don't know. I think the past few, I forget what it is, but
yeah,
it's terrible.
Yeah.
So that's a combination of the guy that gets the ball at the end of the game all the time in his hands, which is the quarterback, and the coaches and setting guys up for success. And I think Frost will. Even if Nebraska doesn't win another game this year, I don't. I think Frost will be here. So I mean, at this point now, that's kind of a realistic thing, though, right? Like, does Nebraska win another game this year? So I see right now, Purdue just scored. They're up 7-0. They're going to be up 7-0 on Iowa right now. So, um, do we beat Purdue? I don't know. We're not going to beat Ohio State. Wisconsin's still Wisconsin, even though they're having a bad year. And in Iowa, they just have our number. So I don't know if we win another game, but I do still think Frost is here next year, and that's going to make a lot of people angry. But at this point, maybe he like we're going back. I'm going back to the Martinez conversation. I if he doesn't do anything here within the next game, then I think they got to give somebody else a shot.
Yeah, and I mean, you make a good. I think that they should be competitive in 3 of the 4 games. Not even to say they could be competitive in 4 of the 4 games to end the season because they have the defense to do it, but they can't close games. They make too many dumb mistakes, and you just can't beat teams like they have coming up on the schedule when you do that dumb stuff. Especially teams that are sound like Wisconsin, Iowa, Ohio State.